For most of you anyway. This is a roaming prepper channel. I'm your host Pete, and thank you all for joining me. You're gonna have to forgive me because it's been a long day and I need my glasses, so I move that light over. That ring light's killing my eyes right now. In any case, let me move that. I don't know where the hell to move it. There we go. Ta-da! Anyway, hopefully you guys can see me okay. So, oh shit, we'll just do that. Fuck it. Okay. So right now, large portions of Texas, hey KP, are under a tornado and extreme weather alert. So we're hearing everything from 60 to 70 mile an hour winds, or gusts up to 60, 70, which is really a Cat 1 hurricane. We're also looking at the possibility of what they're calling here, hey Scott, hey Oops, hey Dan, thank you Dan, gorilla hail, which when I saw that I was like, what the hell is gorilla hail? And apparently this has become southern nomenclature for any hail over 1.5 inches in diameter. So like, I guess it was like, what, 6 centimeters or whatever, and then converted it becomes 1.5 inches, 2 inches. So right now, I'm going to pull up the Texas weather radar because it's really going to be ugly if it happens again. Now, the last time we had this, we had Ryan Hall is live. Okay, yeah, and Ryan Hall is a professional meteorologist, and he has some substantial software, much better than mine. But for those of you in the area, it's going to be quite nasty. So let me see if I can get this puppy to play. And so across the state, I don't know if you guys can see that, but on the western side of the state, what you're seeing is what they call a dry line, which is, you know, humid air hits the moist, and you get a kind of a temperature inversion, a weather inversion. And what it does, it kicks humidity up high. I'm not describing it technically correctly. It's a lot more, not my wheelhouse. Yes, max velocity is another one. So they're expecting hail on the order of 2 to 3 inches, which is what we had last year. Around this time, actually, we happened to be in Dallas for an event, and I left my pickup truck in the driveway, and it got devastated. That was 13 grand of damages. Granted, I had good insurance, which was great, but it's still, you know, with the copay, deductibles, all that shit, still money out of the bank, right? The house, the roof was 24,000, 25, and the truck was another 13. So that's substantial. No audio at the moment. Be safe. Okay. Can everyone else hear me? Got a 5x5 from Dan, so, but in any case, I'll show you Gorilla Hail. I don't know who came up with the name Gorilla Hail, but it's funny as shit until you have it hit your... Okay, this was in Iowa. That's Gorilla Hail, and that's a dude. So, yeah, it's funny, it holds it there. It's like, you know, here's your ice squirrels, but in reality, that hail coming down can hurt someone. It is King Kong hail. That substantially will do damage. We wound up, here's another picture. This was Missouri Gorilla Hail. Let's see. Let me see if I can expand that photo. No, it won't let me expand because it sucks. Okay, you guys are just, we're gonna have to improvise here. And that's what it did to cars. I don't know if you guys can see that. So surprisingly, I always back my truck in to my driveway, and my driveway is at an angle. So the pickup truck was actually, the windshield was facing downward. So the side took most of the hit. But one of my neighbors, his side of his house was facing the storm, and they got hail right through there. We actually had a tornado pass about 2 miles away. Danger, Will Robinson. Yeah, it will not only destroy your ride, there were people who knew the storm was coming. They were trying to get home. They were trying to beat the storm and got caught in the highway. And that hail, these, you know, you know, 2-3 inch hail balls, which basically were coming down like rocks, blew out their windshields, and people had wrecks all over the place, and there was nowhere to hide, right? Because it's flat out here. Um, a lot of Dan H. A lot of folks tried to hide under the you know, the gas station. The pumps have an awning, and then some of those got blown over with the wind. So I was going to do a situation report tonight. I normally do like the international news on Monday. I wound up working out of the house today just because I had so many conference calls. I just told the boss is in a conference anyway. I was just like, I'm just going to work from the house because I have, you know, I have my setup right here. It makes no sense. But a few things I have done, and I'm just sharing this with all of you so you can share my knowledge. So the first thing I did, I have the Jackeries. You know, some of you guys have EcoFlows, Blue Eddies. What's the one Vision uses? Opus, yeah. So plug those in, got them up to full charge. I do that once every other month anyway, but I charged them up now. I charged my laptop, charged up my drones. I'm gonna I plugged in my my Baofeng radios, and I told the guys in the veterans group I'm gonna be monitoring MIRA's channel 3. I don't have my full ham license, and I don't want to broadcast on GMRS and blow out someone else's, because I'm using a Baofeng on GMRS. Even at low power, it comes in really powerfully. So I don't want to blow out someone else's radio. But I told the guys I'm going to be on and off that channel. So what I got to do right now is we're going to check the yard. I'm going to secure the trash can. There's actually a public covered parking spot about 10 minutes away. And my garage is, because I have other stuff in there, the garage, I can fit my wife's car, but I have my gym equipment. I couldn't fit both vehicles in the garage. So the Land Cruiser is right now in a covered public parking, like a multi-story parking garage, about 5 minutes away. So in the event something happens and a vehicle gets damaged or we can't get out, we have another vehicle nearby we can get. Also, there's a philosophy to that, is you put your vehicles in 2 different spots. And in the event something happens to spot A, spot B still has a viable means of transport. So in any case, again, if you're west of Dallas, basically, everyone from Dallas west all the way to El Paso, I think the storm's about to pass El Paso. So Van Horn, Lubbock, Odessa, Fort Stockton, and then it's going to roll into Midland, Big Spring, Abilene, and then it's going to keep cruising, and apparently it's going to roll up into the Northeast. So Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival texted me earlier and said they're expecting that storm tomorrow. So after it beats us up, it's going to go over there and beat them up there. So what we did, we moved vehicles around, got the vehicles protected. We gave at least 2 of the dogs the Thunder Buddy pills, which one of them is absolutely stoned right now, so I'm going to take a video of that because that's just funny. But we often don't think, like, pets get scared of thunder. A lot of them do. But when they get older and they start really having some kind of trauma from the storms, it actually can make them sick. No, Sebastian, so this is actually a storm front. It's called a dry line, and I may not be explaining it correctly. But what you have is you have a very dry mass of air gets hit by humidity, and the colder air is above the hot air instead of the other way around, right? Because heat normally rises, then it cools and comes down. And what you have is this sudden flip in the air, and the humidity goes up, and it starts causing rotation, which means we're under tornado warning right now, or tornado watch. And that humidity goes up so fast it freezes and comes back down as hail. It's basically a hurricane with ice instead of water that spawns off little tornadoes. And there are multiple storms forming all the way from Roswell, New Mexico, almost to San Antonio. So it's this big line of storms coming across, and they're turning out quite nasty. So, but yeah, The preps for this would be similar to a hurricane. So like I said, charge the jacker. He's got the vehicle secured. Um, we're going to check all batteries. I know we have batteries. Going to double check flashlights. Got my radios set to MERS 3, which is kind of the channel a lot of the veterans and coworkers are all going to monitor. And I can go on FRS. I have a little FRS radios out here too. So if I need to go to that, thank you. I appreciate that, Sebastian. Going to charge everything up. I brought some propane and butane in. I have the camping stoves in here. Normally I put the fuel in the shed, but if the shed gets tore up, I have cans in here that I can function with if I have to cook. And I'm trying to think of what else. So the other thing with big hail, we've had guys, somebody actually got, their husband got hurt. The dog ran out, and I don't know if it was the husband ran after the dog or the wife did, and the hail started coming down before they could get back, and stitches and concussion resulted because this, I mean, think about it, it's like a golf ball hitting you on the head moving fast. Whoever had run out after the dog went down and hit their head again on the ground, and then these balls kept coming down at them. So a neighbor came out in like a big poncho. He actually was an army guy. He had a whoopee, and he tried to use the whoopee as a shield and grab that person and drag them into that garage. So you want to be inside. So what I've done is, no, hush. My dogs are freaking out because I made noise. You know, I work in an industry where I need a hard hat. So I've already pulled my all my field stuff, my hard hat, steel-toed boots, work gloves, and my thicker coveralls, as well as my rain poncho are already staged in the garage. I have another set in the house. I got an extra hard hat for the wife. So if I need to go out and there's stuff coming out of the sky and some kind of weird emergency, I'm not going to get cracked on the head. Yes, and Redleg's right. The further west it goes, the worse it'll get. So, doggone it, the ring bell. So, yeah, and the idiot cat ran away, so the cat's gonna have to figure it out, because she's a stupid cat. I had one cat would just come to the back when there was weather. He was an old man, and he'd be like, meow, and then we'd put him in the garage, and he'd just chill there, and then he'd leave when the storm. But this one's stupid, and she ran off, so if the hail and coyote gets her, that's what she gets, because she's a stupid cat. You know, usually you'd think the cats were the smart ones, but this one's not. Anyway, hard hat, work gloves, steel-toed boots. Remember, hail can hurt you. And more importantly, if it knocks you off balance, which it will, it can knock you to the ground. Then you hit your head or body on something else and get hurt again. So you want to avoid that. Also, keep in mind you want to stay off the road. If you're trying to make it home and you're trying to beat the storms, and it looks like you're not going to make it, get the hell off the road. Even if you're caught, I mean, barring a tornado, go to a truck stop or something, and your car is going to get devastated, right? But what you don't want to be doing is you're going 50, 60, 70, 80 miles an hour on a highway, and your windshield blows in, and now you got glass and ice hitting you in the face while you're driving, because that's an absolute invitation for an accident, and the accident will kill you. The hail won't, but the accident will. So yeah, it's not bueno. So Sebastian, they call it gorilla hail. You can Google this because it's funny. When I heard that, I was like, man, who come up with this foolishness? Gorilla hail, was Donkey Kong throwing hail? No, actually, anything over like 1.5 inches, 2 inches is gorilla hail. So some of this stuff's coming down like that, which is what happened to us last year. Because my barbecue grill at the time had holes in the grill like that from the fire pit. I'm sorry, I had a mesh over the fire pit, and the holes were like that big. It looked like a golf ball had gone right through. The roof was all screwed up as well. So I'll follow a dog, never a cat. No, and if the cat's, like my old cat would come to me. He'd be like, oh yeah, my guy's calling me because I'm the tuna guy, right? But this one's a doofus cat, so whatever. Yeah, so bikers, motorcycles, I'm watching all of them headed home. Like there were, earlier was kind of nice out, and I could see the bikes were out in 3s and 4s, and all of them were like zooming around the side streets. Like they were getting their butts home. If you are on a motorcycle, you don't want to be on the highway when this hits. Even if you don't get the hail, the 50 to 70 mile an hour wind gusts will knock you off the road, or even worse, knock you over and get you run over by the guy behind you. It is absolutely diabolical, Sebastian. Like I said, last May, we had something very similar happen, but they didn't forecast it. So nobody knew it was coming until like 10 minutes before. Nobody had a chance to prepare. So normally I do the international news on Monday afternoons. Today I'm just sharing some notes. So yeah, two of the dogs had to get their Thunder Buddy pill because they're gonna freak out. The other two don't care. They're like, yeah, whatever. Fed the dogs early, gonna send them out to pee and poop, whatever. And before the storms hit, already warned all the coworkers. We're all checking in on each other. I've got 3 or 4 coworkers within a mile. I got other guys in the veterans group within 3 miles. So everyone's we're actually laying out plans. We're gonna monitor certain radio channels. We got a few rally points, so if somebody gets in trouble, we can go in and check on each other. So, Terry Von Erich. So actually, there's a storm chaser out here, and I forgot his name. Bear with me just a second to see if I can find his. And I do not have his YouTube channel. Shoot. Hold on. His name is Edgar O'Neill, the storm chaser. So he travels Texas. He's actually in West Texas now. I think he's between El Paso or in the Van Horn area. And he's going to try and follow the storm. So I actually subscribed to him. I didn't even know this guy. There's another one called Pete Gomez. I actually met him over a burger, and he's a storm chaser on Instagram. And so he's out as well. There are like 3 or 4 storm chasers. I've met 2 of the 3, and these are very cool people, by the way. And so my off-road rig is not set up for storm chasing. It's meant for running away from storms. But in any case, go check them out. And if you're in any of those affected areas, and remember, this storm system is not going to break up. It sounds like it's just going to sweep across the U.S., kind of going from the southwest to the northeast, the Hudson Valley, parts of upstate or downstate New York, outside the city, parts of Pennsylvania are also going to get it. I don't know if Ohio is going to get hit. It sounds like no. So max velocity is, yeah, I've heard of max velocity. I need to go check him out too. So folks, if you get these kind of heads up, this is why when you prep, you shouldn't be paranoid. You should be attentive. I don't know if that makes sense. Watch the weather reports, watch the news, right? We were paying attention to this storm front yesterday. And the missus has been, hey, Devil Dog, she's been watching it. And then this morning, she's like, hey, it turned for the worst. Okay, so we started making sure we had everything we needed. Insurance paperwork, secured in the bug out book, which I made a whole different video of. Charged up everything. Now we're just waiting to see what's going to go where, how things are going to land. So folks, look, if you get that heads up, right, don't just say, meh, even an hour. You can do a lot in an hour if you're very focused and you say, okay, we have a storm or some kind of event coming in an hour. What can we do? And start running. Well, yeah, Neil, exactly. And so, when we finally decided, yeah, this is going to be an ugly storm, we made that decision probably right before lunch. We're like, okay, what do we need to do? We walk the house. We're like, okay, there are a few things we need, nothing critical, because we have, our preps. But taking that time to just do that quick checklist, and I'm sure there's something we missed, but it's going to be minor. And again, if you're in a hail area, or even if you just have tree limbs falling, because we don't have big trees here, but like in Ohio they do, in Louisiana and Houston they do. Trees fall, so you get the hail and you get tree debris. Having things like this, the hard hat, steel-toed boots, work gloves, even, safety glasses. This is a case where a respirator is a good idea. And I'm talking like an N95 mask or sheetrock mask. In the air, kicks up. You're not inhaling all that garbage. So anyway, folks, I'm going to let you guys go. This was just kind of a quick howdy. I'll post updates throughout the night. It may miss us entirely, but it's already clobbered a couple of towns to the west and it's moving our way. So I'll keep you guys posted. But until next time, be good, be safe. Red Leg and those of you in Texas, I'll try and keep you guys updated. So, because after it hits me, I think it's going to hit Red Leg about a few hours later and a few other people. So I'll try and keep you guys posted. You guys be safe out there. Be careful. Pay attention to what's going on around you. That's a big portion of the preparedness concept, is just being aware of things that can happen or are happening and getting ahead of the curve. You guys be good. Be safe. Take care of yourselves.